Hey guys, Shay of Black Photography. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel, and if you've been here before, welcome back. Holiday season is in full swing, but if you're like me, you may already be thinking about 2026. The trips, the memories to be made, and what instant camera you're going to be shooting with. If that's the case, this video is for you. Today I'm going to talk about the best instant cameras for 2026. I'm going to start with the hybrid cameras, not because they're the #1 camera that everyone has to buy, but because they're a really nice middle ground if you're nervous about wasting film. Hybrids give you that instant print experience, but with some digital previews. You can shoot, review your photos, and only print the ones that actually work for you. The first hybrid camera I want to mention is the Instax Mini Evo. This is a great all-around camera if you want something stylish, compact, and a little bit extra. It's got that great vintage camera look. It's a digital and instant camera that uses Instax Mini, which is usually the most affordable and easiest to find. It fits in a coat pocket, it's great for travel, parties, and everyday snapshots, and you can choose which images to print instead of printing every single shot. If you want to know more about why hybrids are great for travel, check out the card above. Alright, so I've talked about the vintage vibe camera, let's talk about the Instax Mini Low Play Plus. This is also a hybrid mini camera, but it leans more into fun features. It has a selfie lens on the back so you can frame yourself more easily and get a great selfie. My millennials will appreciate the duck lip selfie. You can also attach short audio clips to your photos via QR codes, so your picture can literally have a little voice note or message with it. If you want to know more about the cool features of the Mini Low Play Plus, check out my ultimate guide linked in the card above. These hybrid minis are perfect if you're new to instant photography, a journaling person, or just someone who wants cute prints without the full no-do-over stress of classic instant photography. There's also the Instax Wide Evo if you're looking for a hybrid camera that shoots a larger format. Feature-wise, the Instax Wide Evo is very similar to the Instax Mini Evo. Now let's move into the pure analog cameras. No screens, no previews, no digital. You press the shutter button, the film comes out, and whatever happens, happens. This is the classic instant experience. On the Instax side, I like to recommend the Instax Mini 12 or Mini SE. The Mini 12 is the most basic point and shoot of the Instax cameras. You can't really change any camera settings, but it is really easy to use and it has a pretty good light metering system. Light metering is how your camera determines the best exposure for your photo. Now, full disclosure, I don't own either of these cameras. I own the Mini 11 and it was a great point and shoot. However, I have heard good things about both of these cameras. If you want a little bit more control over your camera settings, I recommend the Instax Mini SE. It gives you some exposure options so you're not completely at the mercy of the camera. It's still pretty much a point and shoot camera, but you have a bit more say over how bright or dark your photos look. Now there is no selfie lens with this camera, so if that's important to you, I would definitely recommend looking for another camera. If you've got a little bit more money to spend and you want something that you can grow into, the Instax Mini 99 is the Instax Mini camera to get. It lets you adjust brightness, add vignettes, and tint your images using different color modes. And it does all of this with physical dials and switches. No screens, no apps, so you still get the full analog vibe, just with a bit more creative control. If you're leaning towards Polaroid, the only small camera I can recommend for 2026 is the Polaroid Go 2. This is an updated version of the original Go. It's shorter than most Instax Mini cameras, but a bit wider. It might fit in a larger pocket, but should definitely fit in a small bag or backpack. Like the Instax Mini 12, it is a true point and shoot camera. Frame your shot, press a button, watch the photo eject and develop. Now, Polaroid film can be a bit finicky. It's more sensitive to light and temperature while it's developing, so you do need to handle the film with a bit more care than you would Instax film. Polaroid film is also a bit more expensive than Instax, so keep that in mind. But if you're okay with those two things, the Go 2 is a cute, portable way to get that classic Polaroid look in a tiny format. Alright, let's talk about the bigger kids, the larger formats. These are for people who really care about having more space in the frame, for travel photos, family and friends gatherings, or prints you actually want to display. Don't worry, Instax and Polaroid both got you covered. Let's talk Instax Square. A camera like the Instax SQ40 or SQ1 uses square film, which sits right between the Mini and Wide in size. They are great cameras if you want more room than a Mini, a simple analog camera, and a camera that gives you slightly artsy square format that works really well for journaling and wall displays. The only real difference between the SQ40 and the SQ1 is the design aesthetic. The SQ40 has a bit more grown up and retro look, while the SQ1 has a more colorful and cheery look. For beginners who want to go big in 2026, I'd recommend looking at the Instax Wide 400. It's fully analog, it's just the largest Instax format, and it's a solid choice if you want big group photos, travel shots, or prints that feel substantial. You get a straightforward shooting experience with some useful features, but it still keeps things beginner friendly. It's a nice way to experience wide without having to jump into hybrids or hunt down discontinued bodies like the Instax Wide 300. If you're a beginner now, but you know you want to grow your skills later, the Lomo Instant Wide Glass is another wide format camera worth considering. It still shoots Instax wide film, but it gives you a sharp glass lens, more control over exposure, and creative options like multiple exposures. This one is better if you're excited about learning and playing with the camera settings and not just keeping everything in auto. So in the larger format for Instax, I say SQ40 and SQ1 if you like the square format and want to keep the camera simple, the Instax Wide 400 if you want the big boy and get big, easy wide shots, and the Lomo Instant Wide Glass if you want more control and room to grow. As of the time of this recording, all these cameras are available for purchase. Alright, quick size breakdown. Mini, think small and cute, great for wallets and journals. Square, think more room and a nice blend between the smaller mini and the larger wide, but again can be great for journaling. Finally, the wide, think best for group shots, landscapes, and big memories. It has similar dimensions to the standard Polaroid frame, but it has a more horizontal layout. If you want that classic fully analog Polaroid experience with the iconic square format, you really have two options. You can look at the vintage original Polaroids from like the 70s and 80s and 90s. Just a thing to remember about those is those usually, mostly all of them I think, require the 600 format film. This is the film that has the battery built into the film cartridge. That's the only way that those Polaroids will work. When you're looking at those Polaroids, you'll likely have to get them all secondhand. So if you do that, just make sure you thoroughly inspect them to make sure they look like they'll work. And if you can, bring a pack of 600 film so you can stick it into the camera and see if it actually turns on and takes a shot. Your other option is the newer Polaroid Now. Now I would recommend the Gen 3 version as a camera to look at. This camera does shoot Polaroid I-type and 600 film, which gives you the, again, bigger classic Polaroid square print. So how I mentioned the 600 film has a battery in the cartridge, the I-type doesn't and only works with the newer cameras. The Now Gen 3 is a point and shoot with autofocus, so it takes a lot of the guesswork out of shooting with the camera. It's got a self-timer for group shots and selfies, a built-in flash, and a pretty simple interface, so you're not drowning in different camera settings. This is great if you love the aesthetic of Polaroid prints and you want something very straightforward. Just remember, like I said, Polaroid film is pricier than Instax and more sensitive during development. So shoot your prints from light right after they eject and let them develop face down in a dark spot at room temperature. Now, if you want a more advanced Polaroid experience, then check out the Polaroid Now Plus Gen 3 or a Polaroid Flip. These are both brand new in 2025. Both cameras I would say are 95% fully analog, but you can adjust some of the camera settings via the Polaroid app. Now they aren't hybrid cameras though because there is no digital preview of your image and you cannot select which photos to print. You can use both photos without the Polaroid app. Now the Flip has a flip up portion that is great because it allows you to protect your lens, the sensor, and flash when not in use. Some of the main differences between the Now Plus Gen 3 and the Flip are the body designs. The Flip has a stronger flash and the Flip has sonar autofocusing, while the Now Plus Gen 3 has an optimized 2-lens autofocus system. Now if I had to pick one, I'd go with the Flip. I love the throwback design and I like the fact that the lens and sonar and flash are protected even if I don't have a case or a bag. And finally, if you're ready to level up and you want full manual control in a Polaroid body, then meet the Polaroid i2. This is Polaroid's premium manual instant camera. The i2 gives you a full manual control of your aperture and shutter speed, light off focus, and a sharp 3-element glass lens. Now, I would say this camera is not necessarily for beginners if you just want a point and shoot camera. It's for people who want to learn photography, more specifically instant photography, experiment, and really craft their instant images. Think of it like the Lomo Instant Wide Glass, but in the Polaroid ecosystem and with more control. If you're serious about instant photography and you love the Polaroid format, and you have the money, the i2 is an investment, but it's one that will grow with you as your skills develop. So for you Polaroid lovers in the larger format world, I recommend the Polaroid Now Gen 3 if you want the classic, simple, completely analog Polaroid experience, the Now Plus Gen 3 or the Flip if you want a more advanced Polaroid experience, and the Polaroid i2 if you're ready to go full manual and creative. All three shoot that iconic Polaroid square format, so it really comes down to how much control you want and how much money you want to spend. So those are my instant camera recommendations going into 2026. From small, simple beginner-friendly options to the hybrids and larger formats you can grow into. Tell me in the comments, which of these cameras is on your 2026 wish list? And if you already own one of them, drop your experience and tips to others in the comments below so they can learn from you. If this video helped you narrow things down, tap the like button so more instant photo lovers can find it, and subscribe if you want more Instax and Polaroid tips, reviews, and beginner guides. Until next time, keep practicing, keep having fun, and I'll see you in the next video.